Hi, my name is Michael Guzman and I'm the mastermind behind the Brex mining scandal.
Yeah, good luck getting that out. So Hi, my name's John Felderhoff and I wear sunglasses.
Hi, I'm David Walsh and I'm the man with the fat stacks.
I decided to do my accounting project on the Brex mining scandal, which is the biggest mining scandal in the entire world. What made this entire plan credible is that the real biggest gold mine in Indonesia is 70 miles away. In December of 1993, Michael Boozman began his plan of convincing the world to invest in a gold mine which did not even exist. He was a Filipino geologist who had a lot of knowledge about the surrounding area. The first thing he did was bring another business partner into the plan. His name was John Felderhoff. The first thing John had to do was to find a foreign investor willing to take risks and not ask questions. David Walsh was recommended as the prime investor. He was flown down to Indonesia and wine and dined. With nothing more than some rocks, questionable data, and some maps, he invested $80,000 on a property in Borneo he has never even seen before. The property was called Busang. The goal is to now turn this penny stock company into billions. He starts by hiring some young Filipino staff, which he has total control over. The person who was really in charge and on site was Michael de Guzman. He orders his team to drill core samples. Once the core samples are extracted, it is split into two. Typically, half is stored on site and the other half is crushed and sent to a lab and tested for gold. But because there is clearly no gold on the property, he uses an age-old mining trick called salting. He orders the crushed rock to be moved into a locked shed to where he has ensured privacy. Inside, he uses a method by salting the samples with gold from his wedding ring. This has never been done before. The tampered samples are sent to the lab, and the results suggest that there are high levels of gold. John then phones David Walsh and tells him the good news. As each lab result is posted, it appears that more and more gold is being found in Busang. This was obviously not the case. Investors rushed to buy shares on the Alberta Stock Exchange.
So we had to clear the area before we started mining, so let's send it.
Oh, that's cool, but super dodgy.
It's going. Stop.
Okay, now we run.
Investors saw the amount of gold as a prime opportunity, but wanted to ensure that they were making the right decisions. So they sent auditors to check that everything was done properly and to see all the paperwork on site. The auditors then wanted to see the samples, but Guzman hadn't saved them. The auditors started to become suspicious. Guzman convinced the auditors that there was no need to check the samples. They eventually did believe this, and the audit was successful, and the stock price rose tremendously. The stock price went from $20 to $30 in 3 weeks, when it was first put on the stock market as $2 per share. Michael is very greedy, and he wants more. He finds more surface gold, and convinces David that he has found another gold hotspot. David then applies for Brex to be listed on the Nasdaq and Toronto Stock Exchange. Michael then makes a very bold claim, stating that Brex has the largest gold deposit in the world, and everybody believed it. The company is now worth $6 billion, and the stock price is nearly at $300 a share. It's time for Guzman to start cashing in. Him and his team sell enough shares to be awarded with $100 million. When Guzman starts selling parts of his holdings, people just assumed it was assurance. De Guzman is now worth millions, but what he doesn't know is that the Indonesian government is about to make a move that will reveal his scam. The beginning of the end was when the Indonesian government decided to challenge Brex to this fabulous deposit. In August 1996, the Indonesian government revokes Brex's exploration permit and opens to other mining companies. The Indonesian government did this because they were paid off by the other mining companies. As you see, the Indonesian government is extremely corrupt, almost like the South African government. The only issue is now that the new mining companies, who were drilling only a couple miles away, were coming up with no gold in their samples. After 3 years and billions of dollars, time is running out. Michael returns to Indonesia and receives wild accusations from the new partners. De Guzman had gone in a helicopter with the Air Force to discuss this in a meeting, and when the pilot looked back, Guzman was gone. He had jumped. 3 days later, they found his body, which was partially eaten by animals. Rumors swirl if it was suicide or planned by the other mining companies, as the pilot did have his GPS tracker on, which would make it very easy to find the body. New miners come into areas right next to Brex, and nothing is found. This proved that there was no gold. Their deposit never even existed, and investors were shocked. Their stock price will now eventually drop to zero. David Walsh said he knew nothing about this and moved to the Bahamas, and due to stress, 2 years later, he died of a massive heart attack. No one has spent a day in jail due to the scandal, and no charges have been made. None of the investors have been compensated and never will. Some people invested their life savings into Brex and clearly lost everything. This caused a lot of people to commit suicide, and their blood is on Michael de Guzman's hands. As you can tell, Michael de Guzman basically wanted to get rich quickly. He was dishonest and the consequences were very bad. Shot for watching my video.